Well, hello, everybody. Welcome once again to the Appalachian Brewing Company podcast. Mike Parker and Artie Tafoya are coming to you this month from over on the west shore of Harrisburg, the Mechanicsburg Brew Pub. Once again, Artie, and happy fall to you, my friend.
Happy fall to you, Mike.
Yeah, the leaves are changing, changes in the air, and let's kick it off with a cheers of a beer because I'm thirsty.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, here we go. All right, so changes in the air for one of the classic names that people recognize at Appalachian Brewing Company. Hoppy Trails. Hoppy Trails was Hoppy Trails IPA, one of the original flagship brews here, and now it's rebranded a little bit in a little bit of a different style. What do you want to tell me about this beer?
Yeah, you know, Mike, the IPA category has evolved over the last 10 years, as you've seen, and we've enjoyed plenty of them. But you know, Hoppy Trails IPA sort of got lost in the minutia of all these different IPAs, the new hazies, all the new styles of IPAs that were coming out. So this year we decided, hey, let's re-examine this Hoppy Trails beer. And, you know, it really wasn't too far from, I mean, Purist Pale Ale was our pale ale.
Yeah.
Of course. But Hoppy Trails was really not that far from there, from a pale ale, once you got into the situation where IPA category changed, right?
Yeah.
So what we did is we redeveloped this beer. We did a bunch of test batching on it and came up with a perfect recipe, we think. And so right now, this is now Hoppy Trails West Coast Pale Ale.
Oh, beautiful. Yeah. I remember coming into the brew pub back in like the early 2000s. The, Hoppy Trails was, IPA was on there. And then every once in a while, then you also had the Out of Focus would come in, and that was the double IPA. So like an Imperial IPA, I guess, if you want more alcohol to it, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know if it's quite Imperial. But yeah, definitely a double IPA for sure.
Double,
yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So, again, that's why you're here, because
that's right.
I call things within, it's maybe not synonymous as I thought it was,
You
okay.
weren't too far off, no, not at all.
But anyway, the Hoppy Trails, I remember back in the day when Hoppy Trails IPA was like, man, that's got a hoppy flavor to, you know what I mean? Like, it's like that bitterness that I would always make like an IPA like my last beer of the night. Like if I was going to have 3 beers, it would be like a Water Gap Wheat, a Jolly Scott, and then an IPA at the end. Because the IPA would, some people say, would burn your palate, like because of the hops. So you drink that and then you go to something lighter. You almost can't taste the next beer with the way things are. But actually the way that things evolved, as you said, it ended up being a really, really good IPA, like the flavor-wise, because some of these other ones, just got to the point where, I guess so popular that there were just so many different options. Like you said, it kind of got lost in the shuffle.
Yeah, the hazy IPA sort of became the base IPA, which is unusual, to have something like that. And the incredible thing about that is really the hazies are not bitter. So you look at a Hoppy Trails IPA in its original form, and it was it had quite a few what they used to call IBUs,
yeah.
Right? And we don't really even talk about, even now, rarely do people talk about IPAs and IBUs any longer, because let's say a hazy beer, there are really no bittering hops in that beer. Mm-hmm. It's all in the aromatic. Either whirlpool or what they call post-boil, dry hopping or something like that. So it's all there.
Yeah, it used to be like IBUs, International Bittering Units, right? So
that's right.
I used to relate that to like heat, that like I forget what they call that scale for like hot wings, the Scoville, right? Yeah, but like an IPA that had like it was like in the 80s or something like that for IBUs. Like that was pretty high, or like, so, and then I don't know, that would definitely burn you out, like burn your palate out, as you say, not physically burn you, but you know what I mean? Just as such a strong flavor in that bitterness that if you did switch over to something lighter and maybe like sweeter on the sweeter maltier side, it would be a difficult transition. You definitely have to have some saltines and a glass of water in between.
That's right.
Yeah, like the old beer fest, to kind of cleanse the palate, a little bit of that. But anyway, no, this is really good. What I'm getting off of this is, I want to say traditional. Like if you told me it was an IPA, I wouldn't like disagree with you. But the reason why what makes it the pale ale to me is it's got that smooth drinkability to it, and then it kind of catches you in the back of the tongue. Like, that's where the hops hit you right on the back.
That hops hitting
yeah. And a nice breath afterwards.
The flavors are really nice. They come from what we used to call the C hops, and now they probably still do call it that. But Centennial, Cascade, Columbus, all those American hops that were really West Coast, Oregon, Washington State hops that we use in this beer, and it gives you, that Cascade was always that classic grapefruit, right?
Yeah.
So you get a little bit of that, and it's just a really nice blend that Cliff put together on this beer, and we're pretty excited about it.
Beautiful. Okay, well, there it is. So if you want to try that out, come into one of the brew pubs. It's the Hoppy Trails. When you ask for a Hoppy Trails now, you're going to get that West Coast Pale Ale, and I don't think you'll be disappointed. That's really good. And I'm glad to see a Pale Ale kind of like back in the mix, What's old is new again, is it not?
Yeah, and the color's beautiful on it.
Yeah, it is.
That's that perfect little, not quite straw, but a little more between that and copper.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's not.
It's just that nice pale ale color. I love it.
Not intimidating whatsoever. It looked very welcoming beer. Right. Awesome. All right. So Artie, you guys have done some great things. Last time we were on the podcast, we were at a different location. We were hanging out with the Penn State legend, the college football Hall of Famer, Lavar Arrington.
That's right.
That was fun.
That was fun.
He was in good spirits.
I hope everybody enjoyed that episode, because it was quite a barn burner.
Yeah, it was. It was good though. He obviously he's what was pretty cool about it was we're sitting with him, at a bar a couple of weeks ago, and then he's right there in the mix on ESPN doing the guest picker deal.
Yeah, did you catch that?
Yeah, I saw it. Well, I didn't see it live, but I saw it after the fact. It was great.
It was awesome. Yeah, he, I was sitting there looking at it, and he had talked about, hey, I'm going to try to get this up on stage with me as the guest picker, and I'm like, there's no way. I'm thinking to myself, there's no way this is going to happen. But he, all of a sudden, I was watching him a little bit, and you see him reach back and grab a cooler and pull it up. And he and Pat McAfee both chugged a beer right there on the set. Nice. It was awesome. The Stick City Citrus Wheat Ale.
Yes.
That beer's it's doing great.
Mm-hmm.
It's doing great in all the markets we've introduced it to. We still have a few markets to go, so we wanted to make sure there was enough for Beaver Stadium and the State College market.
Right.
But now we're starting to move it out a little bit further too. So
very
pretty
cool.
Exciting.
Yeah. Well, Penn State, exciting start to the year with their kind of 3 tune-up games, and then they had a bye, and then we had the game that everybody was waiting for, and against Oregon, and that was it was a nail biter.
A great game though, but it didn't turn out our way. But
no. No, it was just it was so yeah, right. Well, at least you can have a tear in your beer here. That's all I ask. But
right.
Man, no, it was kind of the same, wasn't it? It was the same as the last game against Oregon, and and everyone's saying, why'd you throw it on first down? Why'd you do that? It's like there was a chance to win. Anyway, we've all if you're a Penn State fan, you've already relived this. We won't do it, and if you're not, you don't care. So anyway, they've got it. Doesn't change their season necessarily. It more pressure for sure when Ohio State comes around. That's for sure.
Being number 2 or number 3 in the country, you got a target on your back. I think number 7, you still got a target on your back.
Oh yeah.
But my analysis of that game was, the defense played so well the whole game.
Right.
And then that one in overtime, the second overtime, that one play that took them to get in, and that really took the sort of the air out of our sails.
Yeah.
And we went back on offense, and we just, we made a mistake, and it was just a bummer because really, first of all, I was a little worried about that game to start with, just because.
Of course.
Yeah, they're so
not an easy game.
So fast and powerful.
Yeah.
We got them on grass, which is good, right? But I think it slowed them down a little bit. I think our defense played great. Our offense hung in there, but in the end, you know, you just can't make those mistakes at the end.
No.
I hate to say it.
And it was heartbreaking for the fans because the atmosphere was fantastic. The buildup was great. And then it's just like you don't get like okay, it's 4th and 1 and this is the game is on the line. Like, you know, it wasn't that. It was just snap your fingers and it's done. And you're like, ah.
And how about, I do want to say that, how about that interception being brought back?
Oh, exactly.
It was a fumble.
Yeah. They showed that camera.
His knee grazed the grass.
But he didn't actually go down, right? He kind of I know they called him down, but you're right. It's like,
when is that now a rule that your knee
I don't know.
grazes the grass?
God, you know the difference between that camera shot and was just the guy's foot being in front of his knee and they wouldn't have been able to see, you know what I mean? Like that's what I mean. Like this replay, I guess you have to look back on it and say, I guess by rule he probably he was down, but like he didn't actually go down. You know what I mean? Like the knee barely touched. Like you said, if the grass is an inch long, he touched the top 1/4 inch of the grass. I've never
heard that before in all my years of watching football.
Yeah. Well.
No, either you're down or you're not. Not grazing the top of the grass.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was definitely an Oregon-friendly call. No, that stank too.
All right, let's change the subject.
We shall move on. But anyway, yeah, that Stick City. The Citrus Wheat up at Beaver Stadium or wherever you can find it. I saw some in a beer distributor in the Harrisburg area this week. So it's around, man. It's around. So just look for it. Delicious, as you know. If you want to check out the podcast, if you're a Penn State fan, if you love Lavar, Arrington, he talks a lot in that podcast about, you know, the origin of the Stick City culture and how the beer came about.
Wasn't that cool to hear him talk about that? I thought it was great. Yeah.
And also, I wanted to say, too, I mean, after listening back to it, there was a lot of new faces that hanging out with us that day. And you said, basically, you gave me, like, you said, all right, it's kind of like, I'm going to try to give you an hour notice if this is happening. Because we were doing the town here with Lavar and going around to a couple of the different spots. When we got there, there were some other guests. And I wanted to make sure that we shouted out not only to Sierra Madre, who the folks who hosted us there, but also make sure that Zembes and Angelo, when I listened back to it, I felt like I didn't give Angelo enough props or time there to Angelo, I just want to make sure everybody, as long as you're listening, if you're a Harrisburg area listener, always our friends at, like other places like that, like Zembes. They had a big role in making this happen.
They were one of our first customers ever.
Yeah,
yeah. Matt Smith and Angelo were really good friends because Matt's wife was in the beer distribution business.
Okay,
and he was one of our first customers. I think Riverside Stadium back then, the Senator Stadium was our first customer. Mm-hmm. They bought beer and do you remember we used to have the backpack guy?
Nice.
He would wear a backpack.
I remember the Smitty truck.
He would pour fresh draft beer.
Oh, really? Right out of the nice.
We were way ahead of our time, right?
That's good.
But that was really cool. But Angelo was one of our first customers, and although we've been in and out of there over the years, it's nice to get back with him. And he runs a really nice operation there in that tough area of 2nd Street. That's for sure.
All right. Well, Artie, the other thing that's just happening right now, I mean, Oktoberfest, you guys just wrapped up Oktoberfest. For anybody who came into one of the brew pubs, you had the special menu. How'd things go? It's always a fun time of year.
And I'll tell you what, that the schnitzel is always a hit.
Yeah.
And I love it. I just can't stop eating it. I think I'm going to turn into a schnitzel.
Yeah, it's all right, man. It's so schnitzel is like pounded pork fillet or something like that. I mean, I don't know how that works. It breaded and some gravy. Is there gravy or some sort of gravy on it?
Yeah,
schnitzel.
It's got the what's it called? Like the home style gravy with mushrooms and red wine.
Just rich and delicious,
rich and wonderful.
So that goes good with an Oktoberfest style beer, which is
Caponafest. It doesn't matter how much we make, Mike. It's the wrong amount. So last year we made a little too much. This year we made a little too little.
Oh, yeah.
And we didn't have Oktoberfest through the time of our Oktoberfest.
Yeah.
But if it's pretty popular and it runs out, what are we supposed to do?
Well, you leave them wanting more.
That's right.
Yeah, I mean, it is a
and
thing.
I get yelled at.
Yeah, no, I know. Because, well, if you walk into a bar this time of year, like, there's people that just, like, out of, like, habit will be like, is there an Oktoberfest style beer in Appalachian? That's going to be the Oktoberfest. And, okay, so you don't have that. Give me another option. Well, Mountain Lager would be great. I would take one of these pale ales, the Hoppy Trails. I mean, anything like that. Pretty soon, you guys will have Hefeweizen around, right? Yeah,
that's right.
That's another great. I mean, see right there. That's
it ended up getting pushed back a little bit this year, but it'll be out here soon.
Perfect. I love that. Hinterland Hefeweizen. Highly recommend. Right. So, what are you going to do, Artie? What are your plans here? Like, family time is kind of important around this time of year. If you're not raking leaves, or if you're not out in the woods hunting like me, which archery season starts, that's always a big time for me. But it's like, you got like these festivals and things. There's corn mazes and all that stuff. Like, what is there anything that you do this time of year like that?
Well, I mean, we're winding down festival season actually. Lidditz Beer Festival was last weekend. That's a big one for us. It's one of the biggest ones in the region. We do a lot of different festivals like that. One thing, I am going to an Eagles game this weekend because the Broncos are playing the Eagles.
Nice.
So my daughter for my birthday, she gave me a ticket. So I'm meeting her and we're going to the game. She's now an Eagles fan because she lives right in Philly.
Nice.
She's become a all Eagles.
I knew I liked
fan.
her.
And yeah, you like her, but I'm not sure I do anymore. But you gotta still love your kids, I guess. That's happening. Just heading into fall. Hey, this is beer drinking weather.
Yes.
Once it cools down a little bit, you just start drinking those little more ambers. This pale ale would be fantastic right now this time of year.
Okay.
Jolly Scott for the winter.
Yeah.
There's no better beer than that. And we're gonna pop one of those open in the next segment. But so it's just a good time. It's a good time right now, and everything seems to be moving forward, and we're just happy to be where we are.
Good. Well, I love the transition because actually I wasn't going to try to keep it. We like to talk more about beer than we do sports, but Eagles, obviously, that's my team, and I'm hoping that they go 5-0 this week. And it doesn't matter in Philly if you're 5-0 or apparently if you've won the last 17 out of the last 18 games and the Super Bowl. They'll still say your quarterback stinks. And anyway, so I hope that he stinks against the Broncos this week and wins by 30. Right? Because that's like...
I don't know. Their defense is coming around.
Yeah.
But your defense is tough. I think they're going to be tough on Bo Nix this weekend. But, hey, you know what? Maybe he can pull a game out and we can sneak in and steal one here on the road.
Yes, and the Phillies are in the playoffs, and they will play beginning on Saturday against the Dodgers, who won the World Series last year. So me and my son went down to see a Phillies game last weekend, last Friday night, actually, and it was their last regular season stand. They just played kind of some worthless games almost against the Twins. But the night before, I think they hit 8 home runs in a game, which was like a team record.
Yeah.
And then we went and it was 1-0, but the Phillies won. So it was just great.
The excitement of
no,
all the
but
home
the
runs,
Kyle Schwarber was going for the Phillies home run record, and I think he ended up being too short, two home runs short of the record at the end of the year. But it was fun being around a sold out stadium, and they're going to be certainly sold out. And as they say, it's going to be a red October in Philadelphia. So when we come back...
Let's hope so.
Yeah, I hope so. When we come back on the Appalachian Brewing Company podcast, a beer that has at least it has a red label and a little bit of a hint of brew, a little more red than the Hoppy Trails West Coast Pale Ale. We're talking about one of my favorites. One of the house beers at Casa de Parker, of course, would be the Jolly Scott. One of my favorites. We're going to have some of that and whatever else you have on the table here when we come back on the Appalachian Brewing Company podcast. All right, and we're back on the Appalachian Brewing Company podcast. It's Mike Parker and Artie Tafoya coming to you from Mechanicsburg this week, and we're hanging out here having a couple of brews. Artie, we've switched over now. We were drinking the West Coast Pale Ale, the Hoppy Trails West Coast Pale Ale, but now we're going back to another flagship. It is one of my favorites. It is the Jolly Scot, and it is a little bit darker. Tell me what the Jolly Scot is for those who don't. As we cheers, my friend.
Cheers,
for those who aren't familiar with one of the greatest nectars of the gods that you guys
really
come up
is.
with. Yeah, for real.
It really is. Jolly Scot, Scottish ale. It's a Scottish export ale. On the label it says 80 shilling. And
right.
They used to rate back in Scotland in the old days. They would rate a beer by how much what the alcohol was in it. So an 80 shilling was a certain price. Well, 80 shillings, right? A 90 shilling was stronger, so that would
cost a little more.
And 100 shillings would cost even more if it was more like a Scottish wee heavy, or maybe it could be 110, 120.
Gotcha.
So it's interesting that. But
it makes sense, doesn't it?
Yeah, it really does.
But
my favorite thing about it is just the color.
Yeah.
It's just that beautiful, buoyant red. Just a wonderful color. Just I don't know.
My favorite.
When I look at it, I want to go, wow, that just.
No, it is
so pretty.
It's really so. I like it. This is a beer that I will say too. The temperature that you drink this beer at changes it a little bit, and that's maybe I'm wrong about this, but it's in my experience. I love this beer, and this is a beer that I drink all the time around like the holidays, because it's always seems like that's what I'm going to take along, because that's going to be the one that I'm going to want to. I can definitely enjoy that throughout the day. I don't know. It's also a good summer beer. I wouldn't turn one of these turn away from this beer in the summer too. Again, like just because it's a little bit darker of a beer. It's not like it's a porter. It's not like it's a stout. It's just a little bit more of a quite amber, a little bit, right? Like a dark amber. Yeah.
Yeah. It's red. It's really a red. But I was amazed this summer. We sold a ton of it.
Yeah.
It's just so weird. You just can't determine. Normally winter is our Jolly Scot, summer is our Water Gap Wheat, of course, lagers, another thing. But this summer, the Jolly Scot just went crazy.
Back to what I was saying though, is that sometimes that's in your head, is that it's summertime and it's hot. I need a light colored beer and I need it ice cold, and like that's what I'm thinking of, and just get me one of those, or give me an IPA, something that has a little bit of like a citrus flair to it, because that seems like it would be more refreshing or something than. But this beer, what I was getting to with the difference, this is a contrast to like a pale ale, which hits you on the back of your tongue with that the hoppy bitterness. This one is a full mouth, sweet and toasty kind of beer. Yeah. And when it's a little bit, I don't want to say room temperature, because I wouldn't advocate necessarily room temperature, but a little cold, it kind of elevates that like some of that toastiness. But when it's ice cold, it's as good as anything else that you're going to drink in the summer, which is why I'd be like, this is just, now I just really want another one of these.
Yeah, it is crisp in the finish, which is really
exactly.
nice. For being an ale, ales usually have some lingering, fruity type flavors, right? That's the characteristic of an ale. But this beer finishes nice and crisp, and that little bit of toast finishes it off. And you really like, wow, I need to take another sip.
Almost like, exactly, like I don't know. Yes, if I'm mowing the lawn and it's 95 degrees out and I drink a beer, like probably water would be a better choice if I'm dehydrated. but like if but if I have a beer, like because I'm thirsty, like that, it would be refreshing. But I don't know that it would quench my thirst. And I'm not saying that this is going to quench, but it does though. I'm saying like this is a beer that you can drink any time of year. There's no reason to save it for winter when it's just as refreshing in the summer.
You know what else I like about it is when you go to drink it, the nose on it, it really tells you what the beer's all about.
Yeah.
So that when you're drinking it, you end up being, the nose catches it first, and then when you drink it, you know what you're getting.
Yeah.
And it's that malty, wonderful, but then it finishes, and it's not overly sweet on your palate.
No, honestly, it's one of the best beers you guys make. I mean, consistently from the start till right now is one of the best beers you guys have ever made. And I love Jolly Scott, Scottish style ale. It's delicious. It's always here. So don't shy away. There's some trends come and go, and some things are forever, right?
That's right. This is a forever. Yeah, I agree.
And if you come to Mechanicsburg, there's a Jolly Scott out on the bench that you can get your picture with. And
oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Anyway, so that's very cool. So
do a selfie.
Yes, selfies are good. You don't need AI either, though. I wonder what would happen. We've written songs with AI before, right? Oh, yeah. We should write maybe a Jolly Scott song with AI. See what comes up.
For the next, and we'll play it in the next
okay,
episode.
That would be funny.
All right.
All right. So my son is coming up on. He's a freshman in high school, and this is going to be his first homecoming dance, right? Coming up. So. Of course, there's guys at school that have, are taking a date, and I guess that's yet to be seen. I don't think he's gonna. I think it's more of a stag situation for my man, and a bunch of us.
We've all done that.
But there's a bunch of the guys on like the football team, and some of the other friends that are like they're all planning. Everybody's going. They can't wait to go. They're out of middle school now. This is the big time. There's going to be.
Big leagues.
Yeah, they're the big leagues. But they're planning a post party, and of course it's going to be at my house. And so one of the things that they did have like an 8th grade dance last year, where a bunch of the guys after the dance came over and hung out. And of course, what was on the menu was pizza and Appalachian root beer.
Appalachian root beer, that's right.
So I clear all the alcohol out of the bar.
Yeah, good idea. Good idea.
I shut the big barn door to the living room, and I unleash these guys with about 2 cases of Appalachian root beer. Oh, no. I have a picture. I got to show it to you. You've never seen so many empty bottles of root beer. But so they'll play. They're preparing. I like to say they're in the college prep curriculum. They get the table out and they play the pong, which would normally be beer pong, but it's just pong. With what they just play with water. Yeah. I think honestly that's what most people do anymore. It's like, and you might
you have your beer.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have your beer and then you drink your beer.
You drink your beer.
You play pong with water.
Back in the day, like we used to when I was going to a university we'd be at a dirt basement like in Shippensburg at some random house in the middle of the night, and this ball's rolling across the floor, and you pick it up, and then next thing you know, it lands in your drink. You got to drink that. But we were also,
they've cleaned that up a little bit.
Yeah, that's not so much anymore. So anyway, they played the pong, and they're drinking the Appalachian root beer, and I have a picture of our bar just covered with 48 bottles of Appalachian root beer. So yeah, it's great. I love that. That's what I love about the product is that it's always fun to take, whether it's adults, whether it's like kids. It's a classy product. It's fun to have around. Root beer is delicious as it is, but what you guys do is a fun. So if you have kids and I always say this, if you're looking like for someone like just like a gift that you think someone would enjoy or like something to take to a party that maybe you're going to, just always just pick up a 6-pack of Appalachian Brewing Company root beer, and it's like a little elevated. It's better than that 2-liter plastic bottle, on the shelf down the way.
Hey, so you're a new father. Well, you're not a new father, but you're a father of upcoming high school kids, right?
Yeah.
So I'm going to give you a little bit of advice right now. So if a kid comes to your house, and let's say you're having a little get-together like you just described, and they're carrying a bottle of water, it's probably not water. Just letting you know, okay?
Right.
Because kids that are that age don't walk around with a water bottle.
That's a good point.
Okay, so it's a good point, right? So,
right.
It's probably got something clear in it, but it's probably not water.
Right. Well,
so think about that.
Yeah. Well, the good part about recognizing a lot of those tricks is that I probably used some of those tricks back in the day.
I hope you did. I hope you didn't.
Yeah.
Right?
No. Well.
But and just do a sniff test on the water bottles.
Yeah.
The flasks, just to check. Hey,
just to make sure.
We're doing a flask check. The other one that a friend of mine told me, he said, whenever you have a bunch of kids and it's boys and girls around, and you're father, he was a father of 3 girls. I'm a father of 2 girls. He said you always did a hand check. So he said all you had to do is come down and go, hey, who wants a hot dog? And if one of the guys didn't raise his hand, you knew he was probably doing something he shouldn't be doing.
He wanted something else.
Because every guy wants a hot dog.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, here's the good part about it is that this, number one, I always tell my kids, and this is up to them, of course, but yet I have some influence. I always tell them, the kids you hang out with better have as much to lose as you do if you do something dumb. So if they don't have something that they participate in that they would lose if they got caught doing something dumb, probably don't want to hang out with that person. Right. If they're not going to get held accountable by, like, their parents can be their parents. I can't know all the parents, I know most of them, but like, there's going to have a group of people over. Yeah. And the other good part is that they're not driving age yet. So there's a part of it that at least the transportation is going to have to be a part of it, but I know there's ways around it. But thank you.
It'll come quickly. Don't you worry.
Well, I do have a junior too. Yeah,
She's driving.
Yeah. That's keep me up at night. Absolutely. All right. Well, anyway, that's coming. So, once I see that, the 2 cases of root beer depleted, I'll send you a picture of it sitting on the bar, because it's at least it's interesting. It makes a good noise for the recycling man. The next,
right. Oh yeah, it'll wake you up in the morning.
Yeah. For real, you have that many. But like, what the hell? He doesn't know that was root beer, right? He's like, these guys are cool.
Man, these guys know how to do it.
Yeah, awesome. So this is I don't know.
It's the fall.
It is. Falling off.
Yeah, I think you fell off.
I just fell off
you
for a minute.
You just got Jolly Scotted.
So we've gone from hops to toasty sweetness to my other favorite style of beer, which would be something sour. Sour is something that you guys have been doing very well recently with the fruit series.
Our fruit series is doing great. Yeah, we finished we had the blueberry, of course, then the Wildest Dreams. We did a beer that was called Campfire Decadence, and it surprised us on it was a s'mores beer, and the sales of it were just incredible, which we were like, wow. I thought, hey, this is going to be pretty good, but it really was incredible. We sold out early. Those things we want to do, right? We want to make sure it's not sitting around lingering. But that was good, and now we got the Noblest Apple Crisp Sour coming out soon.
Yeah,
in 16-ounce cans on draft, both in halves and sixtels.
Was that same beer as last year?
It is.
Yeah.
Yep.
It was really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, and actually
that's one you want for the holidays.
For sure. Yeah, and has a nice spicy taste to it too.
Little spice, but that sour finish. It's really. It really is a nice balance.
So the apple crisp sour. So I would say that sours can kind of go 2 ways. They can go extreme sour, where you're like, okay, I like this, but a goblet is fine for me, like 6 ounces. Or I love the mildness of that. It's very approachable. Yeah. Is that the idea?
Yeah, it's very approachable, and it's not overly sour. It's one of those beers that, We try to balance everything. We've always done that in our breweries. We've always said, "Hey, we want to balance. We've got to cater to a wide range of people. So we can't do super sour sours, because we'll sell very little of it. But you can, with a mild, not a mild sour, I shouldn't say, but an approachable sour, you can actually have somebody go, wow, that's amazing. I don't really like beer." But I'll still drink this.
Yeah.
And we've heard that a lot.
Well, the other thing, too, is that, like, that beer is going to confuse some people. I actually, meaning in a good way, but also I've had people who are not beer drinkers but will bring cider, for instance, say, to a party. And so, obviously, that's going to be an apple-based, almost really like a wine, really. When you aren't ciders essentially a wine in a sense?
Well, sort of, yeah. They fall under a fruit fermentation, so like grape, yeah.
Okay, so but I've been like, when I've had one of these around, I've said, why don't you just try this? And they'll taste it and they'll be like, that's actually really good. They're like, but I'm not sure I would have tried it if it didn't, because it said sour on it. Like, I think to myself, like, yeah, like those like gummy worms with the weird, sugar and like whatever else. What's that? What are the name of those things? I forget. There's the warheads or whatever. Yeah, like the candy warhead, like sour, like super sour.
That's right.
I think they just have such a good marketing. They've done such a good like marketing sour things like that. That when you say kind of like sour beer, you think to yourself like, it's gonna like pucker in my mouth and it's gonna be
Sour Patch Kids.
And Sour Patch Kids, which are
yeah.
delicious, by the way.
Are they?
Oh, I love them. Yeah. Yeah,
Is that like a gummy with sour, like citric acid rubbed all over?
Well, yeah, right. So think of like what Swedish fish are, right? So Swedish fish are delicious. That's like, and that
I would agree with that.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's the consistency of what's in there, but then it's coated in like sugar and probably citric acid or whatever that makes it like makes you pucker a little bit. But yeah, Sour Patch Kids they're out of sight, man.
Are
delicious.
They?
Yeah, I love them.
I might have to try one.
Do you know what the big candy is right now, though, for kids? This will blow your mind if you have not seen this. This is called a Nerds. So have you seen Nerds Rope?
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. I mean, your kids, they're still kids. Nerds Ropes are like that gummy and they're coated in Nerds. So you get this like crunchy nerd on the outside and then like the chewy in the middle. That's the nerd. That's what a Nerd Rope is. But now they make these things called Nerds, like gummy clusters, which is like, it's like a ball, and it's like a gummy ball with like, so they're bite size, and then they're coated in crunchy nerds, and that's apparently the thing, man. And they're good, but it has like, if you're like me and you've had like a filling or two over the years, like in if you hit that wrong in the back, that's why I try to stay away from that kind of stuff. Yeah. Back in the 80s, I had a filling or two like on my molar, and like, if I chew on something hard every once in a while like that, like you get that. Yeah. Bang right there. I'm back in the dentist chair back in 1985. I'm like, remember that?
Takes you right back home.
Yeah.
Man.
But no, like, so anyway, that's popular. So sour.
Well, I'm not going to try that. Just so you know. I've drawn the line there.
No, they're actually really good.
Are they? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to take your word for it.
Anyway.
All right. So what else we got going, Mike?
I mean, it's a beautiful time of year. It's football. It's beer. Oktoberfest is in the rear view. Hefeweizen's looking forward.
Yeah.
Those are some of my favorite things.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you, Artie.
Is it fish and chips time of year? Or is that summertime? I don't know.
What do you think? I mean,
I like fish and chips any time of year.
I like what? So actually, I was going to say something. So hunting season, people are so we're recording this on a Friday, and actually tomorrow morning starts the archery season for deer for like most parts of Pennsylvania. I think there's been like one or two spots across the state where they have so many deer, like probably near Philly or something like that, where they like open it up a little bit early because they're like you know what I mean? There's certain places where there's so many deer, but there's nowhere to hunt. Like they're probably like,
what you're talking about.
Yeah, like suburban areas and stuff like that. So they open it up early and to try to get more opportunities. And
are you talking about where we moved into their home?
Yes.
Didn't ask them,
right? But
they still hung around,
or because nobody lets anybody ever hunt on their properties, and they'd rather feed them, and then everybody's driving their $60,000, Volvo down the street and it cracks their front windshield. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and they can't grow any plants because the deer eat them all.
Right, but they don't want anybody to hunt them. So, anyway,
that's a predicament.
Yeah. Anyway, it's like also like pretty much the whole state of New Jersey.
Is it?
Yeah, but it's also that corner, some places in Pennsylvania. But anyway, what I was getting at was that actually I'm really excited. I mean, I hunt for the purpose of food, you know what I mean? Like, not because I need, believe me, if I don't shoot a deer, my family's not going to starve, but I look forward to it. And I've been watching a bunch of videos online this year about different things to do with the deer meat. And I love doing it. Like I always get some bologna made by this other guy who does it really well. But now I've been watching videos and I have a smoker and stuff at my house. I'm like, I'm definitely going to try to make some of my own. some of that like good stuff, like, you know, bologna and like the sticks, the snack sticks. But the one thing I'm really excited about is, have you ever watched the Bearded Butchers?
No.
Okay, so they're you should just watch it. It's on YouTube.
Okay.
And they're cool. I mean, you know, people are maybe familiar with them, but there's these guys, and they have this like meat shop out in Ohio somewhere. So it's not that far away, and they have they do all sorts of stuff, but they also around like have all these videos about how to process deer. And the one thing they did was they took a roast of like a deer leg, like a full like leg, deboned it and made a roast. They coated it and brined it. They shot all this juice up into it with like a meat syringe and like filled it with like doubled the weight of this like roast. And then they smoked it, and then they put it in the refrigerator, and then they slice it, and it comes out like lunch meat. And they make like, it's almost like roast beef sandwiches, but it's with deer meat. Huh. Yes. Does that?
You know, when I was over your house the last time, you turned me on to some. I think it was. Was it?
It was some deer bologna with cheese.
Bologna, yeah. That was so good.
It is good.
I really enjoyed it.
I'm out
so
of that.
So keep doing it, and I'll just keep coming over and getting it.
Okay.
Because I go hunting, and all I do is sit in the woods. I must not be a good hunter. And then if I see something, it goes by so fast that I can't. I never had a chance.
Yeah. Well, the archery season's a little bit different because the deer are not. They're. It's not like a bunch of guys show up, you know, an hour before the, you know, light and like get out of their trucks and they're everywhere and everybody and comes in, and then you got a gun that can reach 300 yards if you need to. In archery season, you got to be within 20, 30 yards to take a good shot. Even with a crossbow, maybe 40 yards isn't like, it's still considered an ethical shot if you're good. But like, it's all stealthy. It's usually like these little pockets of, usually where there's like a bunch of houses and like a little patch of woods. That's where the big ones hang. The deer are basically like nocturnal. I mean, like the big bucks are pretty much nocturnal. They only come out at night until that little switch flips in the does, and it's usually like possibly from late October to mid-November, and that's when the does start putting off their hormones or whatever. They go into the rut, and the deer, they stop thinking with their brains and they start thinking with the other part. And then they just start running around. Then you start seeing these big bucks in the middle of the day because they got a one-track mind. They haven't slept. You know, they're just running around trying to breed.
Just off the side of the road the other night, and but it was like at dusk.
Yeah.
So, but it had a nice rack on it, and I told Carrie, I said, you don't see bucks very often. Yeah. And you see deer, you don't see bucks.
Yeah. Well, they're so elusive. So anyway, I enjoy the archery season for that part because it's so quiet and you're stealthy and you're like an assassin out there. But anyway, what I really like about it is when I get the meat, and now looking forward to like the processing of it and figuring out different things to do with it. Because I've been at the point now, because both my kids hunt too, where we've made decisions like I'm saying, well, I don't want you to shoot that deer because we don't need another one. You know what I mean? Even though there's plenty of deer. Nice. So we'll do that. We'll make the decision not to do that. But the whole point is I also like sharing it. And so when we get to that time of year and we get a couple of deer and I have some meat around.
I sure hope you share.
You're on my list, my friend.
I hope so.
Yeah. The best part about it is it always, whatever you cook, goes great with a nice cold ABC.
That's right.
All right.
That's right.
Well, listen, we've covered it all.
I think we have today.
All right. Well, happy October to you. I hope everyone's having a great fall season. Enjoy whatever you're going to do with your family and friends. Don't forget about ABC while you're doing it. It's abcbrew.com. So for Artie, Tafoya, it's Mike Parker, and we'll see you next time on the Appalachian Brewing Company podcast. Cheers.